So our Nottingham journey continues. Do you know what I love about doing these little interviews? It's because you walk around and you meet random people that you realize have been involved in the scene and you didn't even know. You've heard their names about, but you don't really know anything about them. And then you get the opportunity to talk to them, and then you start finding out like there's a depth to what goes on with these guys. And I've got one of those guys here. Okay, so I'm going to introduce you to Donnie Propa. Do you want to take it away, bro?
Yeah, I'm basically Donnie Propa, DJ for Heavy Links. Been into hip hop since I was as far back as I can remember. Collect vinyl. Just been obsessed with it. Used to promote nights, and then these days I suppose I'm most known for the mixtapes that I make. So
tell us about your nights that you used to promote back in the days.
So basically, we started off in 2004. We came back, and there used to be in Lincoln where we were. There was some nights in 2003 where we first met you, the what we call linguistics nights. That had all stopped, and then we were sort of like the hip hop kids, if you like, and the skateboarders and all that. So we were like, oh, let's do it ourselves. So the first one we ever booked, we put DJ Fever on, who, like, just because we knew he produced Out the Ville, and we were like, oh, he's from Nottingham, only up an hour up the road sort of thing. And like I was like 18 at the time, or 19, and like I can remember I got his number and I was like shaking, ringing him, thinking, oh my god, this is like an out, you know, it's like Lee Ramsey and Scorzayzee, and it's DJ Fever sort of thing. So I rang him, and he was just like, yeah, of course I'll come down, like give some petrol money and beers or whatever. And then so we did that as like a one-off, and then the next night that we booked, we actually booked a legendary UK hip hop act. I don't want to say his name because it all went pear-shaped, and it everything that could have gone wrong did. That night just sort of made us go, right, if we're doing this, we're not taking any shit, we'll just, not being cool about it, but it was just, let's do it, it's about a good vibe and fun, and we're not booking people if they're coming with an attitude or anything like that. And then we bought our own sound system and that, and then we just started doing nights monthly, and we did them for over 10 years, and we put on quite a lot of hip-hop, reggae, drum and bass and dubstep acts, and then like we did nights here, we did them in Lincoln mainly, and then we did a few in Norwich and some in Nottingham as well, and I'd like, you know, your Cappo's, Verb T, Sonny Jim, everyone like that on. Apart from that I'd say the second night, that was the only one that ever went bad for us. Everything else was, you know, it was always smooth sailing. Apart from actually, my bad, on my 30th birthday, actually, we did a night in Nottingham, and I'd said I was going to sort the Revogue, but you know, Revogue Records. I'd said I was going to sort them like their petrol money and some drinks and stuff. And that night I got far too pissed, and I didn't actually sort them their money. And that was the only blemish on a career of booking people. So my bad, lads. When I do ever see, I've never seen them since, but when I do, I'll buy you a pint and I'll sort you out.
I can put you in touch.
Yeah, no, I've spoken to them before.
Okay.
I think it's all good, but just like, but that was like in 10 years of running nights, that was the only time when I went, I was a bit of a dick there. Like that was, you know, I said I was going to pay this and do this, and I didn't. So yeah, that was the only one that was really bad. But
so far you said everything went smooth apart from, and then you remembered another apart from. Is there any more apart froms?
No. I mean, the nights like they weren't. I mean, you know, we'd do some that you get a couple of hundred people at, and then you do another one a month later and get 6 people turn up. So it was like we used to try and do it. And like the thing with me, like, because I was like obsessed with UK hip hop, well, hip hop in general, but I was really into my UK hip hop back then. So we were trying to get people from all over and go, oh, you lot come and like, right, let's all do it in Nottingham. So we did one night. I can remember it was Verb T, Sonny Jim, Cappo. Delegates of Culture lads, stack of lyrics, and then from Cambridge, we got them on, but we got like wordplay involved, and I know Ivan and Jack that ran Boom Bap Festival, so they were involved in it as well, and so that's what we would try and like pull people from everywhere, go, right, let's all come to this, so even if no one else turns up, we've got a crowd of us lot that we know we're all into it, sort of thing. But that was a really good night, and but yeah, no, it was it was good fun, and like I said, we had our own sound system and all that, but it just gets to a point like later in life where you start having kids and all that, and it's sort of ended up, I don't know, we just got to a point like just didn't have the energy to do it anymore, to be fair.
So why did you kind of run out of energy to do it?
So well, I'm a teacher with like teenagers with autism and ADHD and SEN basically.
Right.
So that's always been like my thing. So it's like with my mixtapes and that, it's like if I make a couple of quid off them, cool, but I'm not doing it for that. I'm just doing it because that's my passion. It's like I get my money working, and then if I'm doing all this and people are buying them and people listen to them, cool. Like, but yeah, it just got to a point with the nights. It was like we just didn't have it sort of ran its course. But I think as well though, it sort of coincided with us getting more into making our own music. So then it was like, I think 2012 we put our first record out, and at the time that was when vinyl had sort of died on its arse. But because I'm a vinyl head, I was like, well, if we're making it, let's do it properly, sort of thing. In my opinion, like we want to do it, and like I think we did 100 white labels and sold them for £6, and then since then they've gone for like 50 quid, so which was quite nice to see. And then from there we had quite a good Heavy Links catalogue, and then I've always done my mixtapes on the side, sort of thing, and then my brother Habitat, he's done his stuff on the side as well. So I completely get why people use Serato and all that, and it's like amazing technology for what it is, but I just don't get any enjoyment of that. Like even now, if I do a DJ set, it's 100% vinyl, and I'm not doing it trying to be a snob, like but it's just that's just what I'm into. Like.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, your experience is your experience, but times have changed, and some people have been able to evolve into the experience that's going on now, and I'm sure technology will change again and again and again. But do you feel like if you don't kind of move with the times, you get left behind?
No, I think it's the opposite for me, to be honest, because I do these artist mixtapes where I'll focus on just an MC or a producer or a record label or whatever, and I seem to have a good following from that, and people appreciate it because I'm doing it all off vinyl. And I think for people like me, I get a lot of messages of like, oh, I didn't even know that was on record, or oh, I can't believe you're mixing this with this, and you know what I mean? I do get messages like that, which to me is like, cool. Like, that's, for me, it was a buzz of, oh, I need to get that on record, or oh, he's got 2 copies of that, and like, you know what I mean? Just silly things like that, but that's all, it's just stuck with me. It's like, even now, it's like, if I like something, I buy it, oh, I need 2 of those. It's like, and yeah, it's like the physical, and that's like with my mixtapes, I do actually do them on cassette, and I do them, like, make sure the artwork's looking good, and, you know, do different colourways and all that sort of thing, and that led to me doing one with Masta Ace as well, which was...
Tell us about that, because obviously Masta Ace is like a legend to so many of us.
Yeah, so in my opinion, I think he's the most consistent MC in history.
I think so too.
Like, I don't think he gets his
he doesn't.
props for what he's done. I mean, if you look through his career, he's just consistently amazing.
I've said it on, like, you know, whenever I see people posting something to do with him or whatever, I always have to jump in and go, the most consistent MC ever.
Yeah.
Because he is.
Yeah, no, I agree.
He's a guy that never fell off.
Yeah,
never.
And he's such a like humble, nice bloke when you meet him as well. So with that, so I'd done one in, I think it's like 2012 or 13. I'd done an MF Doom versus Ghostface mixtape, and again, it was literally I just pulled all my records off. I had them 2, and I did like a Doom track, then a Ghostface one, because it was when they were meant to be doing an album. So I thought, oh, I'll do this as a, you know, people might be interested in this. We'd gone to this night in Leeds, and anyway, for one reason or another, it wasn't very busy. And I'd always have a bag of records with me if I was off to see anyone, if it was you or whoever. Like, so I was like, oh, I'll get them signed up because I'm a fucking nerd. But anyway, so he did his set, and then afterwards he was just sort of hanging about. But I'd left all my records in the car because I thought he was going to be rammed, and I couldn't be bothered to carry him with me. And I got talking to him. At the time, it's like when Long Hot Summer and Disposable Arts, they were quite rare to have like the picture ones on record. So anyway, I got talking to him, and I was just sort of like, oh, I make these mixtapes, and I've got all your stuff. Like, can I nip out to the car and will you mind signing them up? So I ran out, got them signed up, and then I gave him a CD copy of the Doom and Ghostface one. And I just said, oh, look, I make these mixtapes. Like, is there any chance like I could do one of yours? And he was just sort of like, well, yeah, I've had people say this to me, you know, you can imagine how many times over the years. So here's my email address, do one, send it to me. But if I don't like it, it is what it is. And I was like, yeah, fair play. So anyway, I'd gone home and like, I'd recorded it once, listened back, oh, it's not good enough, did another one. And then I sent it to him one day, just thinking, all right, I'll just send him that, see what he thinks. And I sent him it. And first of all, I thought he's not going to remember who I am. Secondly, he's probably never going to listen to it in his life anyway. But then to my surprise, he just messaged me straight back saying, oh, I'll download it now. I'm in an airport. I'm just about to get a flight. I'll have a listen. So I was just like, oh, right, nice one, sort of thing. So anyway, then 2 hours later, I just got another message off him saying, oh, this is like the best mixtape of my own stuff I've ever heard. Like, what do you want to do with it? And then I was just like, oh, fuck, I don't know. But anyway, we ended up doing it on cassette, and I think we did 4 or 5 different colour shells, and you know, make it collectible. But they just went like it was just me selling them from Miami, packaging them up and everything, and they just flew. And then from there, it was just sort of like, oh, cool, I did that sort of thing, and I'll move on and try and do some other things. And then anyway, a few months later, I got a message. I'd woke up one morning, and I had a message off him just saying, oh, my wife's doing my 50th birthday party in New York. My wife's organising it. I've got Big Daddy Kane on, and everyone who, like, if you see the footage on YouTube, it's just like everyone who's anyone in New York hip hop was there. But anyway, he said, oh, your mix, I really liked it. Would you do me a different one so that we'll get it pressed up from our end, but I want it as a present to all the guests. And I was sort of reading this. I was getting ready to like go to school, sort of like to go to my work. But I was reading it like this, and I was like, I sort of read it. Yeah, I sort of read it about 5-6 times, and I started like nudging my wife, and I was like, "Fucking hell!" Like, check this out. And she's like, he doesn't care, and like, who's Masta Ace, sort of thing. But to me, yeah, that was like like, Jesus Christ, like, this is massive sort of thing. So then I wanted to do one that hadn't, so I didn't want to use anything that I'd already done on the previous one that we'd put out. So I did a second, like, I did it completely separate, sent it to him, and he was like, oh, this is dope as well, but I wanted you to use, like, Born to Roll and a few of my others, ones that you'd used on the first one. So I ended up doing a third one that was basically parts of this one and parts of that one. And yeah, I just sent it over to him, and then next thing, he just sent me some CDs in the post, and then he was like, oh yeah, we've had like 1,000 of these made or whatever it was, and I'm giving them out to guests at the party sort of thing. So, and then I just saw on Instagram or whatever all the photos coming up of him like handing them out, and seeing, I don't know, like people stood there with my seat, like just thinking, fucking hell, I've made that.
How does that make you feel?
Oh, it was amazing. It was like, this is like, to that point, it was like, cause like when I put the Scorzayzee one out, like at the time, and then off the back of that, I ended up doing a Sun Records one and a Lee Ramsey one and a Cappo one that were all official mixtapes, and got to know the people, them. And like that to me at the time was like, this is huge. Like, yeah. And then this was like the next step. It was like, fuck yeah. Like,
did you feel like things were going to change then because Masta Ace had pretty much certified everything?
Obviously. Yeah, you sort of hope in the back of your mind, you're sort of like, I've got that stamp of approval. So then the next thing I did was, how did I even get talking to? So Jeru the Damaja, basically, I was like, oh, I want to do him next. I thought that'd be a good one to follow on from. And then Chrome out of Deftex, he was like, oh, I want to do a Jeru tape, like, let's do a side each. And then, oh no, that was it, sorry. Chrome ended up DJing for him. He was doing a show in Norwich, and Chrome DJ'd for him.
Chrome gets about Donnie.
Easy just, yeah, shiny metal man. But I think Chrome gave him a copy of my Masta Ace one and was like, oh, my mate makes these mixtapes, like, he really wants to do one for you. And Jeru was just like, yeah, go for it, sort of thing. So I did one, sent it to him, and I can remember him just being like, yeah, it's cool. And then like Masta Ace had like done me an intro for it, so I was like, oh, can you do an intro for it? So it obviously makes it sound a bit more official. And he was sort of like, yeah, I'll get around to it, and never did. So that was a bit of a shame, but at the same time, he was like, yeah, do what you want with it. So we put that out and just called it like the Dirty Rotten Mixtape, and like I mixed one side, Chrome did the other. And then from there, I call my mixtapes like straight from the crate cave, because that's my music space at home. I call it the crate cave because it's like you open the door and it's literally crates of records on 3 walls. So that was like my little tag that I go with, if you know what I mean. But I want to do a separate one for UK. But I'm thinking rather than doing like focusing on one person, or because I've done like a Verb T one, I did one with him as well, and I did an Evil Ed one because I did the 10-year anniversary of the Enthusiast album coming out. And again, like, I'd never met him at this point, and he sort of just messaged me. And he was like, yeah.
Really good.
But he just messaged me one day, and he was like, oh, I've heard your Super Teeny Jehst mixtapes. Like, I wanted someone to do me a 10-year one for the Enthusiast. Like, would you be interested? I'd done the Sunny Jim one, and like that was official, like, because we'd put him on in Lincoln, and then like we did a track with him, and in fact we did a track Cappo, Sunny Jim, Chrome, and Habitat. That was on a record that we put out. And then off the back of that, I was like, oh, like, you know, Jehst, like, do you reckon he'd be down for me doing one? And then there was a show in Leicester, and I think Jehst was headlining, and Sunny Jim was on at the Music Cafe, even there in Leicester. That's a good music venue. But so we went there, and Sunny Jim introduced me to him after his set, but he was just sort of like, yeah, cool, whatever. So, and that was like, I put it out, but it was never anything official. But again, it was just me mixing my records.
So do you want to let people know if you are up for doing mixtapes, if people want to professionally approach you and say, look, I've got an album launch or something, I need a mixtape for this, and is that something you'd be interested in?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, like he's just said, yeah, if it's something that I say when Evil Ed got in touch, that was big to me. But then on the flip side, I had one person message me, he didn't have anything on vinyl, so that was sort of a bit of a stumbling block, but then he was like, oh, here's all the tracks, and I won't say his name, because again, I fully appreciate him getting in touch. But at the time, I was sort of like having a listen. I was like, "Yeah, it's not there." You know what I mean? It's like I don't want to do it. But he was like, "Oh, I'll give you $2,000 to do it." And again, I could have done with the $2,000, but I was like, "Nah, sorry, man."
So it's not a money thing for you.
No,
it's
that's
just
what I mean.
It's
like my jobs. I do my job. This is always just been my passion. And I think that's going back to like promoting the nights as well. It got to a point where it was like, this isn't fun anymore. Like, and it's not like we weren't making money off it. It was like we did well to break even. So it was. But that's what I mean with my mixtapes. I mean, luckily now, last year I did a double cassette of Big L, and I put that up, and it was sold out in 15 countries in 2 minutes, and I was like, fucking hell. I'd want to expect it to go.
Okay, so let's just clarify what sold out means.
Well, it's me just putting it on Bandcamp. I press up X amount of them.
Right, so what I was going to say is, like, someone could press up, like, one copy and go, sold out.
Yeah, that's what it was, yeah. I bought it. No, it was I mean, I never say how much because people straight away put them on Discogs and go, oh, 80 quid, and there's only, and like every single one of mine on Discogs, when I've had a look, none of them are the right amount. I just find it amusing that someone's buying them to try and make a couple of quid off them, sort of thing. But I mean, fair play if that's what you want to do, but I don't care. I'd rather people hear it. I'm making it so people hear it. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, this Big L one, but basically because it was a double cassette, it cost me obviously twice the price to get it done, and then I was thinking, I could stitch myself up if this doesn't sell. And then I say it like literally went in 2 minutes, and then like my inbox was just straight away, oh, I missed it. So I pressed up another X amount, and then they went in like 4 hours, and then it was like, cool, there you go, sort of thing. But
what was your connection with Sun Records?
Basically, I came down for
anyone who doesn't know Sun Records, do you want to tell them?
Yeah, so Sun Records, a dude called Alistair that ran it, and it had basically big ties to Nottingham hip hop scene.
And also Ninja Tune.
And Ninja Tune, yeah, he was, wasn't he? Yeah, I forgot that one. But yeah, so, but the first time I met Alistair, that again was through Chrome. So I already knew Chrome, and then I'd been booked to go and play in Camden. Inspector Deck was meant to be on, and I'd managed to blag a set at it. And anyway, we got to this night, and then Inspector Deck just didn't come. Apparently, I mean, you obviously heard things on the night, oh, the promoters and blah, 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 but I didn't get involved in any, I don't know, I just did my little set and left. And we were staying at our mate's house down in London, me and Eltel, who's the producer and other rapper for Heavy Links, who's not here tonight, but big up Eltel. Me and him went down, and then that night was, obviously, I was then a bit like, oh, fuck's sake, like, I was a bit annoying. And then we saw it was a Suspect Packages night, we're doing Cappo's Genghis album, I think it was, like 2 nights later, and we were like, well, we'll just stay and go to that instead then. And so anyway, I went to that. That was the first time I met Cappo, and then Alistair was there with him, obviously promoting because Genghis came out on Sun. So I just got talking to them and said like, oh, I did this Scorzayzee mixtape, and I'd said to Cappo, I was like you're literally like my favourite MC. Can I do one? Similar with Masta Ace, it was like, can I do one and send it to you? If you don't like it, cool.
So did you say to Masta Ace that he was your favourite MC as well?
I say it to all of them. You've got to sweet talk them, haven't you? No, Masta Ace definitely my top 5. But then I see it differently because I don't know why, and like I'm sure you'll probably slate me for this, but I've always sort of had my UK top ones and then my American ones. And
no, it's fine.
But Cappo and Scorzayzee were always my favourite MCs growing up. So then, like now that I know him and can, you know what I mean, like Cappo's probably here somewhere and just have a gibber to him. But at the time, I was a bit like, fuck, how's Cappo sort of like? So I was like, oh, you're right, mate. I'll do these mixtapes. And then anyway, and then Alistair said like, oh, right, how about you do a Sun Records one? And so I did a Sun Records one. I sent it over to him, and he was like, no, I don't really like it. And I was like, cool. I was like, can I try again? He was like, if you can be bothered, sort of thing. So I was like, I did another one, sent it back to him, and then he was like, oh yeah, that's the one. He was like, I mean, that only came out as a download. I think he had just had it on the website.
It doesn't matter.
But yeah,
did it.
But for me, that was like, I literally buy everything with Sun Records on, and like DPF, like ended up doing a track with DPF, and say we already knew Chrome and stuff like that, and yeah, the dreams to do a Pitman mixtape.
Oh, wow, yeah. I want to ask you something that I haven't actually asked any DJ before. But I feel like maybe this is like a little thing that can catch on at some point. I don't know, it's worth trying, isn't it? Okay, so you know when we get conversations with rappers and they sit here and they do acapellas and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right? And
you know,
and I was going to say, and you know the air guitar?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not actually that good at scratching, so I'll just pretend.
Well, okay, what I was going to say, if you were to do a little demonstration of you doing like an air DJ set, go ahead, do a little, go on, air DJ it. So he's gonna do a little air DJ set.
Like a right dick on
I'm trying to make him look like a right dickhead. All right.
No, so it's basically like when I do my mixes, it's like if you went into my like little crate cave, as I call it. If you went in there now, there's
Stop
literally...
talking and do it.
No, this is it. This is me doing it. This is what I do. So I go in there, I like put a record on this side, just any random track. I'll pull all my, like say if I was doing a Blade mixtape, I'd get all my Blade records down, try and find a good one, struggle a bit, and then like... But so I'd put one on, and then I'd just start mixing. But I'm not great at scratching, but I'm pretty solid on beat matching.
Okay.
And I think a lot of hip hop DJs don't do that, and I've never understood why. So like when I first got my decks, I bought like a load of hard house records that were just so it was like, and if I can match them, then I'll move that over to. I mean, I'd love to be better at scratching, but then you see like all these turntablist people and like DJ Fever, and I've done mixtapes with DJ Cable and like Fast.
So when you get people like Shorty Blitz and Mr. Thing and Prime Cuts walking
it blows my mind.
Yeah, but do you shit yourself?
No, because I think I'm sort of bringing something different to the table.
Okay.
But yeah, I shit myself in my kid. No, I don't. I used to. I used to be like throwing up and all sorts if I ever had DJ sets. But
Throwing up?
Oh yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, but the thing, I was always like my biggest critic. So if I was like, if I clashed a mix, I'd be like, for fuck's sake. And like, yeah, I used to get like mad nervous because I'd be like, and like with sets like that, I'd be like, right, in between Cappo and Far Life Cypher, I'm going to build it up. And that's another thing that I don't think a lot of DJs do. I don't know, like, we went to see went to see Large Professor recently, and there was like a couple of DJs on before, and it was like they were playing good songs, but there was no flow to it, and it was like, you know what I mean? It started getting you like, oh, fucking yeah, like, and it's like, you're opening up for Large Professor, it's pretty simple, just play some early New York stuff, you know what I mean? And it's, I don't know, it just...
Do you sometimes feel like the DJs that come on before the main act, quite often, it's like they're playing the same sets as other DJs
and
all the time?
It's like they don't mind being background music. It's like, I'm not down for that. Like, I want people to, you know what I mean? There's nothing better, and I'm sure the same as an MC, but there's nothing better than coming off and people being like, fucking hell, you smash that, mate. Or like, that's why, not why I do it, but that's part of, you know. But, and it's like, and like, especially coming from Lincoln, it's like, it's fucking hard to get sets to open up for any American acts. Like, big up Ivan as well, because like, he always knew like DJ Premier was my favourite DJ producer, and then Ivan, who ran Boom Bap Festival, he rang me one day and he was like, oh, I've booked Primo, like, do you want a set? And like, I had to like pull a sickie from work like that, but, and then, and in fact, that was a funny one, because it was at the, what's it called, the Waterfront, I think, in Nottingham.
Yeah, Norwich.
Norwich, sorry.
Yeah.
And so I can remember me and Eltel walked in there, and it was just a sound engineer and Primo was really fucking pissed off about something, and I sort of walked in, and like, I don't get like fanboy about it, but I did that day, and I sort of stood there and I was like, fucking hell, Primo, sort of thing. And he just looked at me and he was like, sup, you playing? And I was like, stood there my records. I was like, yeah. And he was like, well, none of this is working. And then just sort of stormed off. And it was just a bit like, fucking hell. I don't know. It's just, but then it was all good the rest of the night. It was like DJ Premier and Static Selector. And
so you got to talk to him and everything?
No, not. I had sort of he signed a couple of records, and I got the photo and the usual sort of thing.
All right. So is there anything that you want to promote? Anything else that you feel like you want to say?
Yeah, so basically, like, I say I do these mixtapes, and I'm trying to put them out regular, so the minute one's out and it's sold, I've got the next one to go on, the next one's this, and then hopefully the same people will buy that. And I say I'm quite fortunate at the minute that I'm selling them, like...
Okay, where is it?
Good amounts. The tape, or...
Yeah.
So my newest one, with it being 50 years of hip-hop, so I've been geeking out. Like, I'm not a breaks head, or, like, I know some people know their breaks inside out. That's not me. But what I have done, I've spent as much time as I could on the internet. I've watched every Kool Herc interview, everything about him, everything about August 11th, 1973, and I was trying to find the exact songs that he played. And then I've bought every record that I could find, and then I've basically mixed them myself. So I've done it as this, but I've done it so my mate Luke, who's a graffiti artist, who's Dutch, he does all the covers for me. But with this one, I said to him I wanted this one. I didn't want any track list on it because obviously Kool Herc used to black them all out. So then if you turn it over, it's got a reversible cover as well with this one, which. So,
is it me or does this? No, is it me? Does it look smaller than they normally are?
What, a cassette?
Yeah.
No, you just haven't seen one for a while, mate.
I think so. It actually looks or feels smaller than...
So with this one, I wanted like that's his standard sort of picture, but then I wanted it so it's got like the original... fucking hell, just broke that one. They're worth more now, there's one less. So I've done this one as like a little collectible thing as well, so it's like, yeah, anyway. But I'm putting that one out on August the 11th.
Okay.
So just as my little, salute to Kool Herc for starting it all. So.
Do you want to tell people where they can find you?
Yeah, so the only thing I use really is Instagram, and it's Dom Props, that, and then there's Heavy Links Rap as well. That's for all our Heavy Link stuff. There's Habitat 617, and Eltel the Dopeness. He's a producer and MC for Heavy Links as well. So, but yeah, Dom Props on Instagram's the best place to hit me up. And then I always put like, I've just started advertising this one now, saying it's dropping August 11th, and then I was just doing 7 o'clock on a Friday. But in fact, I was going to be mad nerdy and try and do it because this party started at 9 o'clock New York time, so I was going to put it out that time here.
Oh, wow.
But then I realised I think that's like 2 in the morning here, and I thought, I don't know if my fan base is, I don't know if they're that committed yet. But
you know what, I think the world has changed, and I think there's quite a lot of people still up at that time.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I sell more tapes in America and like Germany and France than I do anywhere else. So maybe it's, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so dropping that one August the 11th, and then on the back of that one I've just recorded one that's just a dedication to Buck Wild as well. So then I'm doing that one off the back of this one. Okay. And then I've spoke to Masta Ace about doing a third one with him, but I'm sort of working one up at the minute.
But yeah, so if you want to find out more about the stuff that he's doing, he's obviously keeping himself really active online on his social media. So make sure you go check him out on his Instagram page if you want to keep updated and posted on what he's doing, because it sounds like it's non-stop, it's constant. This is a guy that, you know, just half an hour ago before we started chatting, I find out he's like a hip hop encyclopedia. He knows quite a lot of stuff, and if he doesn't know it, he does the research. But yeah, bro, thank you very much for coming on. And yeah, do you want to bust an acapella while you're here, even though you're a DJ?
I can't rap now.
Yeah.
I'll do this. You do the acapella, and I'll pretend I'm DJing. I'll beat juggle like this.
No, you do me a favor. Let's finish off with you beat juggling, air DJing. Go on, just beat juggle.
Are you gonna rap?
No, I'm not gonna rap.
It's probably for the best.
Yeah, because you're gonna be scratching out of time.
Yeah, all right, well, that's true. Yeah. I'll fuck it up. I'll record it on tape and send it to you.
Yeah. Go on. Do your
you want to do this?
Yeah.
So
do your beat juggling.
there you go. That's all I've got. That's all I've got for you.